Hi, Uri. How
Hi,
are you?
Raj. Doing great. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you again. We talked about EMF on our last video, electromagnetic just radiation, and what it can do for our system and the impact of it on our body and a potential solution with Somavedic.
Yeah.
Today, I want to talk about structured water. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll tell you the conversation that happened. So if you recall, when I received it, I contacted you to say, I'm having more energy since I have it. The pressure in my eyes when I use Zoom has changed. I don't get tired while I'm actually doing Zoom as if I need to get out, and my skin is not as crawly. This is what I had mentioned to you. But I wasn't necessarily sleeping better, which is one of the other things that could happen. And to your point, perhaps I had something other than EMF that was affecting my sleep, which we know was probably the heavy metals. But you said maybe you're not hydrating enough. That's also possible. Do you begin your morning properly hydrated? And I said, well, I think I do. I drink a bottle. This is the bottle that stays with me at bedtime. I drink a bottle of this water when I wake up. I've put lemon in it at night so that it's alkalizing and mineralized and so on. But I don't know what else to do. And you said structure the water. What does that mean? Just put it next to the device, Somavedic, and we'll talk a little more about it. 15 minutes, but I do it at night. I leave it there at night and I drink it. So, interestingly enough, before structuring or harmonizing the water, when I drank this bottle, I noticed that within 45 minutes or so, if that long, I usually have to run to use the bathroom, you know? And I noticed that I drink water and I very quickly have to just flush it out. I just go to the bathroom. And when I go to my doctor, I go once a week for him to check how I'm doing with my lead and the detoxing. He always checks the tongue and he always tells me, you need more water, you're dehydrated, you're very dry. That's another word he'll often use, looking at my mouth and my tongue. I noticed my hair would be more sort of dry also, a little crunchy. But then you told me about structure of the water. So I did. I filled the water, put next to it at night, and I drank it in the morning. And you know what's amazing? Is I drink 3, 4 of these a day, but I don't run as quickly to the loo, and it's not the same. Meaning, I feel like the water absorbs, it stays, it hydrates me. So that was my feeling. But amazingly enough, since I started doing that, I don't hear the doctor saying, Raj, you're dry. Raj, you're dehydrated. Raj, in order to detox, we need to make sure you have plenty of water so that the kidneys flush. And my thought was, well, they are flushing because I run to the loo. He said, no, no. It has to absorb, it has to assimilate, it has to go through proper osmosis. The cells need to fill with it and release the toxins. Whereas before, for some reason, it was just going straight out of my system. So I really want you to talk a little bit about structured water. I don't know if you have a picture. I did see it in your magazine. Do you have a picture where you can?
Yes, I'll try to bring it up as my background.
Okay.
So let's see here.
Oh, I
Mirror.
see.
Yes, mirror the video.
Okay.
Yeah, here
Stay
it is.
there. Don't move. It's great. There is the before picture where the water is not as geometric or as beautiful or as structured, I guess is the word. And I see to the right where it says after, it looks like a snowflake developing, basically, in
Yes, exactly.
this area here. So I want you to talk a little bit more about what is structured or harmonious water and its impact. I know for me, that is a game changer in detoxing my system, just in getting rid of what doesn't work for me, feeling more fresher. And I'm sure that that means absorbing and assimilating also what I eat. So please, let's talk about that.
Yes, yes. So as most of our listeners would know, our bodies are more than 70% water. So the quality of water that we drink has a huge effect on us, on our hydration organs, on everything basically. Uh, but the problem nowadays is that we don't drink structured water, because in nature, of course, there's a plenty of structured water in nature, but it is in flowing rivers. Uh, you can find structured water there, but as soon as the water gets into tap or in the plastic bottles, it loses its structure. And how we can think about it is that when a water, as you can see in my background, when a water is structured and you would freeze the water and look under the microscope, it would has really nice geometric shape, just like a snowflake, as you can see. When it's not structured, it's chaotic. And why is that important? Is that in our cells there is only structured water. So if we are drinking not structured water, uh, it's not that bioavailable, and the body has to basically restructure it. So once we start drinking the structured water, that is most natural state of water for our bodies, it the body basically gets much much better hydration from the same amount of water, as you just said in the example. So and the hydration has a huge effect on everything, on our sleep, on headaches. And there is a short story that I can mention as well, with our colleagues. When she basically started with us, she said she was suffering with headaches, and she used to drink a gallon of water a day. And she said, I'm feeling thirsty all the time. And then we gave her a Somavedic, the Medic Green Ultra, and we told her, like, just structure the water, put a jug of water next to the device for 15-20 minutes, and then drink the water. And basically the feedback that we had was really amazing, as she said that, like, now I'm drinking half of the water I used to drink. I don't feel thirsty anymore, and the headaches are gone, which were there, of course, because of not proper hydration. And so it's really important to drink the right kind of water, the structured water. And yeah, so, and Somavedic, except the EMF mitigation, is also structuring the water.
For me, it was clearly the case. I mean, I could just see everything from my skin being very dry, my hair being dry. As soon as I started drinking the water structured by leaving it next to the device, I noticed that, within a short 3 days or so, my skin stopped being dry and it looked very cakey, like my legs and all of that. The hair stopped being very crunchy or dry. And clearly my doctor, he was just like, okay, whatever you're doing, this is how much water you need to drink. And it wasn't that I increased the water or changed the brand of water or anything like that. I simply just put it in front of the device. So that was
Yes.
the thing.
Yes. So for example, and we have again, it's our own experience. We have a pet, a dog, white Swiss Shepherd, and she she loves the structured water. When we put 2 cups of, like, structured water and one from tap, or from the she always goes for the structured water. And because we have her for 1 year, but before that I was only reading about these testimonials, how people told us, like, our pet is drinking only the structured water. She always goes for that. But I had no way to experience it or tell. But now I can see that she loves it. She loves it. When we are somewhere traveling, she's not enjoying the water that much as when she gets home. She just, yeah, she want to bath in it.
Travel with this. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
You could travel with this, right? So it's interesting. I like the taste of the water more. I don't know if anyone's shared that with you, but when I drink this water, the structured water, I want to drink it versus I have to drink it. There's a big difference for me. So
Yes, the taste. That's a good point. The taste, how people can tell the difference is by the taste. The water is more smooth, more silky in a way. It just
yeah,
flows better.
it's a good description. I was going to say it's more round somehow. It doesn't feel as edgy, but as you say, more silky or more smooth. I certainly know that I like the taste more. So it's one device, EMF, structures water. What else does it do?
Well, it's as I mentioned in I would basically repeat what I've mentioned in my previous video, our previous conversation, that it helps with the sleep, with brain fog, with headaches, with the energy levels, with and also people just feel calmer when they are around it. The reason for this, why it's so, let's say, versatile or universal, is that it the Somavedic is creating a coherent field around it, and this field is basically providing a space for the body to heal itself, because the body is doing the healing, not anything like outside. It's when we provide the right conditions for the body, it will start like self regeneration and self healing like processes. So this way it helps with viruses and bacteria and mold in our bodies, but not directly, but by providing this space where the body can basically get rid of them. The way how we found out about this is that we have a wide basically a range of distributors in Europe and in Japan, where they use bioresonance devices. Those are in some countries they are certified as medical devices, and they basically found out that when they were doing the scans before and after, that they were like significant change in the, let's say, amounts of viruses and bacteria and mold in the body. So, and how we are explaining it to ourselves, why this happened is, as I mentioned previously, it's the body that is doing the healing.
Yeah. So, you'll correct me, but the way I understand it is pollution around us, visible and invisible. We're particularly talking about EMF. You also mentioned GPZ, which we can talk about in a minute. There is a lot of pollutant that passes through our system. We are a porous, our skin, our bones, everything about us is like a mosquito net. Everything is flowing through. And these waves of EMF and GPZ and whatever else that's there are non-life supporting. They are what we could call destructive. They add more free radicals to the system.
Yes.
Whereas the Somavedic, what it does is it creates a field which is more harmonious, where the waves are in alignment with what supports life, rather than reduces vibrancy and aliveness. In a way, I talk a lot about the vibe in terms of meditation. When we meditate, when we breathe, when we go inward, we're changing our frequency, our resonance. You mentioned bioresonance, so that's what made me think of that. We're changing our hertz. The higher the hertz, the more our body, our mind can heal. Whatever challenges are there, it's not that it goes away, but the immune response, the body's own healing response, can then be utilized more active. And so, what I'm gathering and what I experienced for myself, and those of you who know me know that I've gone through a lot of different health challenges with repeated bouts of amoebiosis, repeated bouts of parasites from the travels. As I said, chemical and sort of household plastics and newspaper ink and so on and so forth, allergies like you just can't imagine. There was a time when almost anything I ate became, just a reaction in my body immediately. And then metals. So there was a lot of pollution from all the travels. It's 35 years from country to country to city, airplanes, they bring so much stuff in. And at some point it becomes a little too much for the body to process. And it's through breathing, through meditation, through the knowledge and so on that I could keep my resilience, But something like this is creating a more conducive, a more harmonious environment for my own body to heal itself. And I certainly can say that my energy levels are different. My kind of patience or quiet is different when I'm working, when I'm around all this electricity. Normally my skin would get a little crazy and I get like, get me out of here. Why am I here? And now I spend 3-4 full days from 6 a.m. in the morning till 9:30 at night in front of the computer with all the different wires on. And I notice that I'm at peace or in more harmony. Of course, I'm also teaching programs that create that, but it's very different, with it around. And there are many different ways we can deal with grounding, EMF. As you know, and you mentioned it, of course, walking barefooted, going to the ocean, putting our feet in the sand and in the water, the ocean water, the sand, all of those things, including grounding mats. But grounding mats are good only the person who's contacting it, if you're touching it. This, I just keep it in one room. I don't have to move it around like the grounding mat. And I see that it has an effect for me. So thank you. I really just wanted to tell you about the water because that has been a big game changer for me.
Yes, definitely. No, it's a proper hydration is really, really important. And at the very beginning, in 2011, Somavedic was the first models. They were not structuring water. Uh, Even the founder added it, but added it later. But it was also uh, like a R&D project, like almost like with any other product. You would just have to work with it and experiment with various precious stones and minerals, how they work together, and eventually he found the right combination. And now, the Somavedic can also structure water, which is great.
So we won't get into the details of it, but I do know that inside of Somavedic, are different precious stones as they emit different energies and vibration and frequencies or waves like amethyst and so on and so forth. And somehow your founder has been able to harmonize a field through it, right?
Yes, exactly. So inside of each Somavedic, there are the precious stones and minerals and precious metals like gold, platinum, palladium, copper, silver. They are like physically inside. And as I said, they they work with each other, amplify each other, and are creating this this field. And one thing I would like to mention, as you said, you really like the design and how it looks. It's from a hand blown glass, the corpus. So each model is a original in a way, because there is no, there's a form, but it's like a hand blown glass. So if you would compare them, like there are like very tiny differences, but if you would have 3 or 4 next to each other, you would see that they are not identical. And we are in current times, we are proud of that.
So, okay, I'm going to close this video, but I do want the viewers to know, yeah, I've never done something like this before, where I promote or talk about a product. And I'm doing it specifically because there's so many challenges that we're dealing with in the world in terms of our health, our wellness and well-being. I'm not just talking colds and flus and COVID. I'm just saying overall, there's just so much going on. Our food isn't as clean as it used to be. Our water is not as clean as it used to be. Certainly our air is not what it used to be. And I am one who has gone through lots of challenges in terms of being sensitive to my environment and the things that move in my environment. And this is something that has really helped me. So I just want to share it with people. And I do it for one reason, which is to say that you say, okay, if you don't like it, send it back in 60 days. And that makes me feel comfortable letting people know about it so that they can make their own decision. 60 days is certainly enough time for people to know whether it's for themselves, maybe their wife, their children, their parents, the pets, as you said. What are the changes that are going on? And I think the more fragile a system is, the more something like this can become valuable. So thank you so much for sharing. Any last words? And for all of you viewers, you need specific information, you can look in the chat and I'll have information there.
Thank you, Raj, for having me and talking about this important topic.
Thanks so much.